And as you know, our flag is red, white, and blue, so we do a lot of things normally decorating with flags, stars, and stripes. But this year is going to be a little different because we're all a little doing our social distancing, hopefully, most of you are. And we're still going to decorate our homes and maybe have a few picnics and parades in our backyard and the little bikes in the backyard with the kids. So a fun project for you to create with your kids, getting them started to decorate if they're going to do a little parade out front with the little neighbor friends. So using some simple products that you probably have around the house, I'm going to show you how to create this little firecracker shaped little stick. It's something they could put in the basket of their bikes. They can wave at their friends as they drive by out front on their bikes, or you can even stick them in the yard, or like I have here, a quick little vase that's long and narrow. You can put a few in here. It could be a centerpiece. You can have it in your backyard barbecue. But what I used is toilet paper roll. You want to save those, don't toss those. You can actually use a paper towel roll, excuse me, and cut it in half. So as long as it's a similar diameter or long and narrow. Some rolls are skinnier, which also make for a different narrower piece. So same idea, but the look is identical, but it also has a narrow, so you can have a different sizes throughout your little display here. So toilet paper roll or paper towel roll, a simple dowel. I've also used on this one, I think, a skewer. So if you're going to be barbecuing, make sure you have some extra skewers and save them off to the side so you can create this project also. I'm going to be using our circle framelits. This comes with 8 different sizes. I only need this size, and that's what I use to create the point on the top of the project here. I'm using our stars framelits. You get 5 different sizes. They all graduate in size. And it's a great idea if you're going to do any kind of framing or just individual star shapes. You get all these sizes, which I love. I'm just going to be using these 2 here. I'm also going to be using our double-sided adhesive sheets. This is for any of your smaller pieces that you're going to die cut. You run it through the machine with the already adhered to the paper, cut your shape, peel it off, and it's a sticker ready to adhere to your project. You don't need to have a low tack tape, but if I'm going to be doing any type of framelit where I lay the smaller star inside of the bigger star, I want to make sure it stays put and the little frame is going to be even. So washi tape or any low tack tape, I'm using our maker's tape here. Any kind of glue, I have our express glue because I love it, it dries pretty quick. And then double-sided tape, which is perfect. So using our hibiscus paper, this is from our silver Opulent. This is from our white Opulent, and this is our bluebell paper. This dark navy that I have here, this is from our neutral set, and this is a dark shade of blue. So it depends on what colors you're going to be using, which tones of red, blue, or white. All of these work well together. And I also have just a simple cardstock that is a pattern paper. Any pattern paper or your whole project can be all solids, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to put this aside because knowing me, I could see myself knocking it over and then it'll go crashing and the glass will go flying and my daughter, the camera gal, will not appreciate it. So let me put this aside. What I'm going to do first is I measured my papers, whether I'm using solid or pattern, to 4.5 by 6, and that's just perfect amount to roll around the toilet paper roll. So with my Big Shot fold-along, my Big Shot fold-away machine, which I love, I'm going to cut some of my stars. So actually what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cut my the dome for my the point part of the rocket, the little rocket we're making. So using one of my sizes of my circle framelit, I'm going to run it through the machine, cutting pad on the bottom and another one on top, as you know. And when you hear the crackling, don't be surprised. It's just letting you know that your blade is hitting the paper and the rollers and it's ready to cut perfectly. And look how fabulous that cut out. So since you're going to be doing this, the machine is mainly, we recommend it for 14 years old and older. So if you get all these pieces ready and cut, don't tell the kids what you're working on. Have everything all set up and then tell them, hey guys, come inside, and show them what they're going to make. Everything's ready to go and they'll be super excited to have fun to create the project. So I like to eyeball, whether I'm going to use a little poke, my die pick, just to create a little spot, just so I'll know exactly where the center of my circle is. So, or you can just use your finger and hold it there. You're going to want to snip it. And just right there to the center spot, okay? So that's gonna create the little pointer of your little firecracker rocket. So next you're gonna take one end and just bring it all the way around as pointy as you want it to get. And then you're going to go ahead and adhere it down either with a heavy glue, or you don't want to use a hot glue with the kids unless you're going to have it done for them ahead of time. But if I were you, I would get it all set for them, ready to go. So I put a piece of tape in here. Double-sided tape would work also. And then I'm going to put some of our express glue in here. Like that. And then I'm going to hold it down. So to save time, since I know that this doesn't glue immediately as it would if it was a hot glue, I'm just going to put this off to the side and let it dry. But I'm going to keep going because I have one that's already done right over here. So let me put this off to the side. Now you'll see here, I use my tweezers from our sculpting kit. You'll see here that since I brought it all the way around, it looks like it's not even anymore. So what I like to do is trim around it. So when this is dry and the tweezers, I love these tweezers because most tweezers are the opposite. They're retractable. So when you squeeze these, it opens it up, but when you let go, it keeps put. So it's a perfect project, perfect tool for you to use if you want to keep something together while you move on to the next spot. So when it's dry, then I would go ahead and trim around that side. So I'm going to put this off to the side. But so you can see here, I used our white Opulent and did the same idea. So this one is ready to go. When you want to use the pattern paper, any kind of paper that you're going to be using, I like to put the glue on both ends of the paper at the same time. Line it up. Don't worry if it squishes out because it's going to be hidden. And then I'm just going to roll it. And you just want to hold it down. This dries pretty quick. The Opulent paper, when it has the glitter on it, it takes a little bit longer to dry, so that's why that's there off to the side. So that's how you would cover that. Simple, simple, simple. So this one's ready to go. I did this one earlier. Next, I want to do my dowels. So for the kids, you don't want to put hot glue in there because obviously it's hot glue. So what I did for this one is I took a piece of heavy duty tape, the tape you would use if you're shipping a package somewhere. Try not to let it stick to your fingers, but it's hidden so no one's going to see it. So you see it like there. You could also use a glue, but if the kids are anxious and they don't want to wait, you can just have them lay that in there like that. 5- and 7-year-olds love these kinds of little projects because it gives them something fun to do. What I also like to do is make sure that my skewer, my dowel, is on the same side as the seam. Okay, so that's ready to go. I get one more piece in there because it moved. So if you have any questions or any projects you'd love to share with us when you're using these dies, we'd love to see what you've come up with. No matter if it's a holiday or not, it's something fun that we like to see what all of you come up with and share it with us. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and we'd be happy to answer them as they come through. Okay, so this is ready to go. Okay, so next I'm going to show you how I created these stars. If I want them to be on the, if I want them to be a sticker, a great way to do it so you can do more than one at a time is peel the adhesive backing off of your double-sided adhesive sheets. So this gets discarded. And I already pre-trimmed these to 2 inches by, I'm not sure what the width is, but 2 inches long for sure, or wide. This one's off a little bit, but that's okay. And since they're all adhered to this part, when I go ahead and cut it, the back of it's already going to be a sticker. So that's what I love about it. You don't have to use glue on there. So another thing that I like to do when I'm using my adhesive sheets is I don't like to cut on this because it'll gum up my scissors. So I trim it with a little bit of the paper on my scissors. That way I know it's a clean cut and this part won't get all sticky and gooey on my scissors. So now this is ready to go. So for me to cut the stars, I want a silver one, and I want a white glitter one. Cutting pad on the bottom, another one on the top. Going through the Opulent glitter, I like to go through more than once for a thinlet and a framelit, just to make sure it does cut all the way through. So I've got that one. And look how perfectly that cut. Now, say I want to do something that is an outline of a star. I'm going to take my larger one and then the smaller one on the inside. Now to make sure it stays put, and I know it's going to be even frame, that's when the maker's tape comes in handy. You put it right down just one spot, and you know it's going to stay put once you get it down, and you'll have a perfect framed star. Run it through. So for here, not only do I have this outline of the star, and you know your maker's tape is not going to damage what you cut, so that's perfect. Not only do I have this little one on the inside, but since I framed it, how perfect is that? Okay, so I'm going to peel that off. No need for any glue or any other kind of adhesive. Stick that right on there. We know this one's a sticker also. Peel that off. The Opulent cardstock is a real perfectly nice and sturdy cardstock. So you know you're going to hold it down just a little bit longer with your pressure of your hand just to make sure it sticks down. This is one I had cut earlier, so I'm just going to go ahead and glue that down there like that. I can already see the stars and stripes coming through in our nation's Independence Day project. I've got this blue one that came inside of that. Oh wait, this one was adhesive, so I didn't need the glue. Peel that off. And how about if I put this silver one, since you know it came from the same exact die, you know it's going to match up perfectly. How about if I put it in there like that? Okay, last part is you want to add a little bit of the streamers, which makes it kind of fun. So I have some ribbon pre-cut. Doesn't matter, you can use ribbon that has a pattern on it. You can use ribbon that, let me cut this tape off here. You can use a solid ribbon like I have here. So go ahead, lay a little bit of your adhesive glue on the inside. You could also use a double-sided tape if you'd like instead. And in color order, red, white, and blue. And I'm going to keep going around. Just space it out depending on how wide your ribbon is all the way around. And how fun is that? You could also add a little bit of stars on the top. You can do these going all the way around. The kids, if they're old enough to ride with no hands, they can have one in each hand, wave it around. However you celebrate it, stay healthy, stay safe, and have a happy 4th of July.